feel like people act differently based on what they're driving. If they're driving something like a Ram 2500, they're probably feeling all blue collar and tough. If they're driving a BMW 5 Series, they're probably smirking behind the tinted windows and feeling like the Wolf of Wall Street. Some people buy cars from certain brands to show off who they are, and the brand you buy from says a lot about your personality, but it might not be exactly what you want. This is what your car brand says about you. Tesla. Toyota. Toyota is kind of ball knowledge. If you drive a Toyota, you just know who you are and what you're worth. Your time and money is better spent on a Toyota than in some fake luxury car. You know that with a Toyota, you can get wherever you need to go instead of waiting for AAA on the side of the road with a BMW. Also, Toyota makes some of the best cars. The 4Runner, the Tacoma, the GRs. Toyota makes some great cars. Subaru.
Subaru.
In my opinion, if you drive any older Subaru, you're 100% based. The older Outback, Legacy, and even the WRXs were all better than they are now. The new ones are just too messed up. Like the newer Outback is just pretty boring besides the dude from my Discord server. They have CVT transmissions, they're really big, and the engines usually aren't that powerful. The old ones were obviously slower, but they would come with manual transmissions, they were way smaller, and they were just cooler in my opinion. Same goes for the Forester and many other Subarus. If you drive a newer Subaru, you're slightly boring, besides the dude from my server of course. And if you drive an older one and really go on some adventures with it, you're so cool. You probably have a golden retriever, vape a lot, and have colored hair. And you're at least a little bit gay, but that's okay because your car probably smells like raspberry and wet dog type of mix. Also, why are Subarus like the puppies of cars? I don't know. They just seem, I feel like that's just how they are. BMW. According to the Gassy Discord server, BMWs are the most overrated car brand. However, I'd like to argue that there's a few sides to BMW. If you have a G80 or something, you're probably just a drop shipper under the age of 20, or your parents bought it for you. You only got this because you saw everybody on TikTok had them. You have no idea what it actually is. You don't have a love for BMW or anything to do with cars. You just like people looking at you. Older BMWs are a different perspective. The 2002, the E24, and other similar ones offer a very engaging and very fun driving experience. They're definitely enthusiast cars. If you don't drive your BMW for the badge and instead drive it for what it's meant to be, you're a BMW baller. If you have a BMW SUV, you're the absolute best taxi that your friends could ever wish for. These cars are track hawk killers and super comfortable. I don't think most BMW SUVs hold true to BMW's core values, but they're definitely a very cool daily option. Hyundai and Kia. If you drive a Kia or a Hyundai, you're very ethical and it pisses me off. They're very cheap cars, somewhat reliable, and generally pretty boring. If you manage to own one of these for more than a week without it getting stolen, and these cars are reasonable for commuting, honestly, I'd suggest you just leave it downtown with a USB stick next to it, let it get stolen, and let that insurance money hit. You're probably not going to care about that piece of shit anyway. I get if you have a Kia Stinger or a Hyundai N thingy, then it's pretty cool, but I don't know if Hyundai or Kia are ever going to outrun their pasts. These cars are just kind of boring. Also, what the hell is up with Kia Souls just being the most dangerous cars on the road? People who are driving Kia Souls are always causing some kind of fatal accident for no reason at all. Also, those cars look butt ugly. There's so many other options before getting a fucking Kia Soul. If you want a cube like that, you should get like a Ford Flex or one of those cube cars. Anything but a Soul. Those things are so ugly. Lexus. If you're driving an older Lexus, you're kind of like a luxury Asian core. I feel like you're super luxury and super Asian. Lexus is such a great brand, reliable, quick, comfortable. The only thing that keeps me from getting one is that they're hard to find with a manual transmission most of the time. It's literally owned by Toyota, so they always make great cars. If you drive a Lexus, you're probably more into the comfort of driving than the sport. Mercedes. If you drive a Mercedes, you're either rich or coping for not being rich. But to be fair, their base model cars are pretty nice too, so I don't blame you for getting one. People who drive a Mercedes are cool. They're real life mob bosses. Fun fact, everybody who owns a Mercedes has a Tommy gun in their trunk, cannoli between two fingers, and a cool gangster hat. Also, Mercedes made that one ad with the dude spinning tires at the stop sign, which was super badass, so yeah. If you drive a Mercedes, you're cool. Ford. If you drive a Ford, you are a man. Even if you're not actually a man, you're definitely a man. Ford is every dude's basic necessity. Whether it's a Ford Ranger, an F-150, a Mustang, or a Focus ST, these cars are dude cars. Well, maybe not the lame Ford Focus or any of those weird ones, but for the most part, Ford is a basic necessity for dudes. If you drive a Ford, something reasonable and cool, then you're awesome. If you drive like a Ford F650 for no reason at all, you should probably sell it and get a Prius. Lamborghini. All right, I hate to admit it, you're pretty loaded. If you're in the financial situation to drop a couple hundred racks on a car, you're definitely loaded. But do you know cars? There's so many Lamborghini owners that buy the car just for the status symbol, and it's kind of sad. Yes, they're really cool cars, and maybe I'm just jealous, but I would personally spend my money on a car from a different brand if I had the opportunity. If you drive a Honda or an Acura, you drove a car from a very good company. I wish they made more rear-wheel drive cars, but they still make good ones. The S2K is a great choice, of course, and then the Civic Type R, and if you want a little bit of Honda ball knowledge, the 2000 CR-V is super dope. It comes with a table, which is definitely a plus. If you drive a Honda or an Acura, you really like cars, and you wanted to buy something less expensive so you can build it up and make it awesome. Chevy dudes kind of remind me of Mater. Why did so many cool car brands have to become boring and safe? Nissan is a prime example. We went from the 180SX, the 240SX, and now we have this bullshit. I'm not saying Altima drivers are safe by any means. Their new crap is just more boring than their old crap. Safety should definitely come second with cars in my opinion. If you drive a newer Nissan, you're a level up from the Kias and Hyundais. If it's an old one, not Datsun old, but just a bit older, then you're really cool. Wait, I almost forgot about the Zs. The 350Z doesn't look amazing in my opinion, but it's a good car for drifting. You literally just need to weld the diff and then you're good to go. So Nissan, you're cool, I guess. Mini drivers are definitely bold. These cars are cooler than you'd think though. I personally don't love the way they look, but holy shit, are they fun to drive. These things stick to the ground. They come with a 6-speed manual transmission and usually have a reasonably cool engine. My Mini Cooper is the R53, so it comes with a supercharged 4-cylinder engine, which is really fun. They can look somewhat cool, but honestly, I'd just say you need a good amount of self-esteem if you're gonna drive one of these. Saab is ball knowledge. These things can get down. If you drive a Saab, I feel like you're a bit mysterious and you can actually drive that thing for what it's worth. It was a Swedish brand born out of an airplane brand. They're just about as safe as Volvos. I don't know why Swedish people are so good at making safe cars, but keep it up, I guess. If you drive a Saab, you definitely listen to indie rock music and you're very particular about coffee. Fiat is Ferrari's deformed dwarf runt half-brother. Basically, their only connection is that they're both Italian. Fiats are kind of like the Italian Mini Coopers in the way that they just stick to the ground. I would never bring one of these cars to a drag strip, but they're very ideal canyon carvers. Volvo, peak human ever. Volvo owners are the absolute best. Owning a sleeper Volvo is possibly the most humble thing you can do. Volvos can do everything and they're super safe too. Have you ever met an asshole Volvo owner? Me neither. They're always the best. The V70R and the S60R are awesome, of course, and the Volvo 240 can do anything. So yeah, keep it up, Volvo. If you own a Volvo, you're winning in life. Alfa Romeo. You're just like the BMW dudes, but with a hint of Italian. Actually, more than a hint of Italian. You're very Italian. Also, these cars are harder to fix than BMWs, so the car's either broken or you're just a really good mechanic. Mazdas are kind of sleepers. If you drive a Mazda, you're either a high schooler with a bit too much horsepower, or you're a car guy and you know about Mazda's untapped potential. The Mazda Speed 6, for example, makes 275 horsepower stock. It's all-wheel drive and it can come with a 6-speed manual. They're also pretty reliable and they're reasonably priced too. Of course, Mazda also made the RX-7 and all those other cool cars that I don't want to talk about right now. Mazda drivers are either a little bit annoying or just chill dudes who like cars. What other brands do you guys want to hear about? Let me know in the comments if you'd like a part 2 to this video. Also, please subscribe so I can hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Please. Thank you.